It's time we all accept the truth. AI is better than us at everything. If you're running a business, fire your employees and embrace the future. Mankind's time is over. Welcome to the age of AI. All right, maybe everything shouldn't be AI. So I was at Inbound 2025 in San Francisco last year, and in one of the breakout sessions, they had a speaker from HeyGen, which is an AI cloning company that uses video footage where you can create your own avatar and possibly duplicate yourself. That's what that was. And at Milan Media, we're always testing new technology, software, and things that can make things more efficient and possibly break into new areas. So we jumped in and created it. And the theory behind it was, hey, I can create videos based on scripting and just make a lot more videos. But after the video team tried it numerous different ways and produced final edited videos using my voice from ElevenLabs, which is great voiceover. The system is almost 100% accurate, but the video aspect is still lacking. They decided, hey, you know what? We're close, but we're not there yet. Too often people are hearing about AI and all these different tools that you can use, and they instantly jump in and like, okay, I'm going to start using it. So what I'm going to review are a couple of things that we do on a daily basis and some techs that we're looking at and use to make our jobs more efficient and our outcomes more effective. So number one, everybody's going to go to ChatGPT. So you're going to go to ChatGPT and you're going to be like, hey, I want it to answer all these questions. But here's something you have to understand about ChatGPT. While it does have all the knowledge that was trained in it, plus the ability to search and the ability for you to upload things, it's going to always answer your question with the least amount of friction as possible. So in our case, in my day-to-day, from a marketing standpoint, I could put a website in there and I could say, here's my client. And what I want you to do is look at their website and I want you to tell me what the best marketing strategy is. And it will give you back a marketing strategy. But if you know, and this is where the human aspect comes in, and still AI is not even close to being there. When you know what is the most effective way to do it, you can go through and piece out all the different areas that you disagree with. It may say, hey, you should consider going down this path, that path. This is something that's worth looking at, etc. And it gives you some good recommendations because it's supposed to be frictionless. But then you go back to it and you say, you know what? These things are not correct because of X, Y, and Z. It will come back to you and say, you're 100% right. I'm sorry, etc. And depending on how much time you spent engaging with a chat system, whether it's GPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok even, it will always come back and say, you're right, you're right. So it's meant to be frictionless. And really where the magic happens is when there is friction and when there is some customization behind it. So you can upload a ton of information and you can say, here's all of my data, here's all of my goals, here's all of my whatever. I want you to create X, Y, and Z for me. It will create what you asked it to create, but it does it within the general borders that it gives itself versus if you provide it with structure. So one thing that we use here frequently is I've built numerous GPTs, customize them based on the way that we like to do things, the way that I like to see information, the way that I like stuff structured with templates. We've built those GPTs and a team here uses them on a daily basis. I've even built a clone of myself, which is called Ask Kyle, and I just uploaded and taught the GPT a bunch of information. While is it accurate? Yes, to a certain degree. Is it always going to answer every single question the way that I would? No, it won't. And you have to go into it and say, I know that I'm using AI and it's smart, but it's going to give me generalized type of approach, whether it is with copy or strategy, or hey, here's my Google Ads performance for the past 12 months, upload it and say, what do you think we should do to make adjustments? It doesn't really know where to start. So it starts in the path of least resistance, which is just finding things that are most common on the internet or what it's been taught previously. To really make it powerful, you have to teach it and create custom things. So I can teach it everything I think about paid media and Google Ads in 2026, and I can give it all this documentation, but still, even then, using a custom GPT, which can get expensive depending on which versions you're using, especially in a team environment, it's only going to go so far, and it's only going to be able to provide you with as much accurate suggestion information as it can. If I ask it to write email copy, I can create a GPT for writing email copy, and I could say, hey, here's a customer, here's my target audience, this is what I want it to do, write me copy. It will write copy, but it's going to write it based on what it thinks and not necessarily what you think or what the best practices are. So number one, using GPT to a certain extent to provide you with information, it's great. Is it going to provide you with the foolproof plan? No. You still do need somebody that knows the information to be able to call it out on its BS and be able to say, these are wrong, I would never do that, etc., etc. It again will come back and say, You're 100% right. I understand. But where it can be powerful is connecting to tools and systems. So using resources or sources aspect of GPT and adding in your Google Drive, your email, other systems that you have, your CRM, etc., and tying it all together, you can use it as like a repository to say, hey, I'm going to prompt and say, what are some tasks that I have to complete for this client? And it will go through your sources and tell you. So you can use it as an assistant to that level to not have to open up different platforms, and it can go through information very quickly. And that's really what it's best at. If you look at it from a standpoint of processing data, I've got this amount of information. I've got 5,000 rows of data in a spreadsheet or in a Google Sheet that I'm going to download into an XLSX, and I'm going to upload to it and ask it questions. While in theory, it should know the answers to that information. While in theory, you should say, if I ask you to group these things together, it should be accurate. But as those of you that have used GPT for years, you know that previously GPT really couldn't count very well. It would tell you that the number was 7 when really there were 6. It never really made sense. And since the updates to 5.2, it is better, but you can't always trust the information. So if I give it 2 groups of data and I say consolidate it or put it into a table, it should be accurate because the groups of data aren't really that large, but you still have to spot check it. And that's where the human aspect comes in. So no way is AI there to replace people, but it can be used as a tool for processing power. So from an AI standpoint, with images, with video, with voice, with generating copy or text, it has made a significantly long way in the last 2 years, and it will continue to do leaps and bounds. So if you need it to create a graphic image for you, can you have it do it? Yes, you can, but you still need that aspect of creative to be able to tell it this looks good or bad. It can create it quickly for you, but it's like, if it can create it quickly and you give it guidance, then what if you want to edit that file later? Is it going to export it into a format? These are questions that you have to continuously ask yourself when you're looking at AI as a possible solution. So not only from a GPT standpoint of using AI to be able to increase the efficiency or processing information here at Milan Media, we also use it from a standpoint within the actual platform. So for instance, HubSpot has some agents that you can not only create custom if you're on the beta program, and by the time you're watching this, maybe it's public, but also agents that are built within, customer agents that are looking for information, engaging with people. It's built a specific way to be able to say, hey, this person has a question about this quote that you sent over, have it interact with the AI agent through a chatbot instead of having to actually talk to somebody. But even that agent needs to be taught. So you have to have a decent amount of content that's there as a knowledge base, so that way it goes into that knowledge base and understands how it should answer those questions. Those are things that out of the box, because HubSpot's a massive company, they produce things that are great. And you can use it in the confines of that system. So that's one way that we use it pretty regularly. From an automation standpoint, you can use AI agents to create automation systems. So if you're using Make or N8N, systems like that to create connections between points, you can use AI to assist with it, but still you need the person's logic behind, like, how do I want this built and what am I going to do once it breaks? So there is an aspect of it, but it can't just take over everything for you. So those are a couple of ways that we use it on a daily basis. Image creation, video is not there yet. Voiceover is great with ElevenLabs. Using it for data processing power, using it to create a repository of SOPs or standard operating procedures here. And if I could upload that entire document into a custom GPT, so that way the team here could be like, hey, I forget how to name those files, or I forget how to do this specific part of the process. They can just engage with that GPT and it's stuck within the confines. It does not go out and search the internet. It says, here's the information that I want you to view through is just this document. Find that information, serve it back to the person. Those are great ways to use it, and it's well worth it from an efficiency standpoint. But being able to say, like, I don't need members of the team, I can just use regular GPT, or I can just use regular Claude to do all this stuff. Even from a coding standpoint, it's close, but it's not there yet. And I don't think that it'll ever be there as we continue to evolve. It'll just become faster and smarter and be able to connect with different systems, but you still need the human aspect to be able to sit there and say, that is close, but not correct. It's missing this critical piece of information that it wouldn't know unless it was a human actually doing it. I really like the idea of creating a duplicate or clone of somebody by uploading tens of thousands of words or transcriptions from videos to be able to get what would this person say, what type of tone would they have, how would they respond to this. That's also a great way to use it. But again, still, once it runs out of the information that it has, or it gets a little bit outside of the box, it's going to go back into its normal behavior and answer it the way that it thinks best. It's not going to come back to you and say, I don't know how to answer that question. Again, it's there to be frictionless. It's always going to provide you an answer. It's always going to provide you with guidance. It will never tell you it can't answer something and can't recommend it unless it's outside of its like constraints of ethics. But other than that, it's always going to give you answers. So you have to make sure that you use it from a friction standpoint, always challenging it, telling it to be critical of itself. That's a great prompt. Telling it to say, if you were this person, act as this person. So pick somebody that has a lot of content out there. I've done it numerous times with myself. I've got a YouTube channel with enough content to where GPT has already crawled that, and it could say, hey, if you were this person, how would they respond? It will scan, figure out the tone, etc., and then provide you with a response. So if you guys got value out of the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. We create tons of videos like this every single week talking about marketing, sales, business, etc. If you can, share it with somebody that you know, and I will see you on the next one.